How do I add a credentials parameter in Jenkins? Here's today's starting point. I have a Jenkins LTS controller version 2.387.3. So in order to add a credentials parameter, I'm going to first create a pipeline job. So let's go ahead and click over to New Item. We're going to give it a name of credentials. I'm going to click on Pipeline and click OK. Let's go down into the pipeline script. I'm just going to use the Hello World as a starting point. And then let's click on Pipeline Syntax. Now from here, let's click on Declarative Directive Generator, Agent, and then select Parameters. And from here, let's click on Add and select Credentials. Now taking a look at this, we'll give it a name. And the name is the parameter that's going to be exposed as an environment variable. Now in this case, I'm going to be creating a credential parameter that's of type secret text. So I'm going to call it my secret text. And since it's going to be an environment variable, I'm making it all uppercase. Now for the credential type, I can leave the default of any, but in my case, I want to go ahead and select secret text. That way, the only credentials that are going to be available to me when I run the job are going to be secret type credentials. I'm also going to go ahead and select required. Now, if we take a look at the help for required, yes, it means it's required. I have to select something, but it's not going to prevent a build if no value is selected. So I want to go ahead and make sure that I'm selecting this parameter. I can also give it a default value if I want to. As you can see here, I already have a my secret text credential already set up on this controller. So that's the reason why it shows up in this dropdown. But for my scenario, I don't want a default value. And finally, let's go ahead and put in a description of what secret text do you want to use. Let's click on Generate Declarative Directive. And now we have our parameter block that we'll take back in to our job. We'll paste it in between agent and stages. Let's go ahead and clean it up a little bit, and then we'll take a look at what the credentials looks like. So if we take a look at the output for this, we see we have the credentials type set up, long string, but it gets down to string credentials impl. The default value is listed, and it's empty because we didn't select a default value. The description is the description that we put in. And then finally, the name of my secret text and required to true. So that is our full credentials line. So let's go ahead and click on Save. Now, when I click on Save, you'll notice that Build Now is still listed here, but I've set that up as a parameter. If we go back into the configure, what we don't see here yet is this project is parameterized. And we would expect to have a parameter show up of the credentials parameter type, but we don't have that yet. So what we're going to do is we're going to click Save again, and we're going to run the job one time. That way the Jenkins file is processed, and then anything that's in that Jenkins file will be applied to this job configuration. So now we can see that the job completed, but if we refresh this page, watch the build now turn into build with parameters. Let's go ahead and click on build with parameters. We can see my secret text, our description of which secret text do you want to use. We could list user credentials, but we're not going to do that. What we're going to do instead is we're going to select my secret text and then click on build. So once we select the build, what we'll see once the job starts is we're able to go in and see that the job ran fine. If you have any questions or comments, you can reach out to us on Twitter at CloudBees. If this video was helpful to you, give us a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed to CloudBees TV yet, why not? Take a moment, click on the subscribe button, and then ring that bell, and you'll be notified anytime there's new content available on CloudBees TV. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next video.